clinking of glass in the wind isn't music, it's a diagnostic rattle. The bottle tree exists because the earth is saturated. The dead can no longer sink, so they hover in suspended decay. From the leading zeros in code 0199 to the flip rule that turns 1273 into the massacre of 1723, we are looking at an architecture of postponement. The eternal lullaby is the hum of a machine designed to delay a catastrophic spill. And the seals are finally breaking. Stand Fromville. We must look beyond human intentions. Boyd didn't act. He simply noticed a long-standing pressure leak in a deteriorating seal. The ritual wasn't born from curiosity or bravery. It had functioned coldly and mechanically long before he arrived, reminiscent of ancient curses. When Boyd reached the bottle tree, he didn't find a message but a status label. The seal doesn't need a voice. It's inscribed and left behind. Once established, it's no longer human. The wind becomes the reader. While humans rely on sight, curses communicate through pressure, vibration, and resonance. The clinking glass wasn't music. It was a diagnostic rattle. Boyd stood before a shelf, in a cemetery of consciousness, later echoing what was etched on the grave marker, 1864. The spacing isn't just stylistic, it's structural. Vessel's value lies in its emptiness. While the clay forms the bowl, it's the void that gives it purpose. Text without space is mere information. With space, it becomes a configuration right. The silence between 18 and 60 prevents emotional residue from collapsing. The silence between 60 and 4 keeps consciousness still. These numbers aren't commands, they're fixed-width parameters. The system endures because its conditions are met simultaneously. The emotional mire a field of fear that fragments memory, suppressing coherence while remaining too fractured to resist. 60. The ring of containment, a limiter that prevents fear from spiraling out of control. 4. The seal of direction symbolizing closure in many traditions. Motion is denied and awareness halts. Boyd didn't activate a prison, he read the inspection tag of one that had been locked away for over a century. Sarah, however, is tuned in. Her nervous system is like an exposed wire. While Boyd lingered by the tree, Sarah didn't hear voices, but she felt the cold archive shifting. Her nosebleed was a fail-safe. Her body severed the signal when it became too much. The voices didn't attack, they simply lost bandwidth. The collapse was mercy. Sarah isn't weak, but she's in sync. When Boyd approached, she felt the resonance of the containment archive. Her nosebleed and collapse weren't punishments, they were emergency circuit breakers. Her body severed the connection due to overload. Seals don't harm observers, they damage conduits. Boyd remained safe because he wasn't part of the circuit. He observed without resonance. While Sarah was fully engaged, the data reveals a fixed-width 4-digit encoding system, not a historical calendar. Leading zeros codes like 0199 and 0659 won't indicate year, writes year 199. The inversion rule pairs like 2 to 7 and 6 to 9 reflect the inverted cosmology of a town where the sun rests below and the moon hovers above. The decode flip 1273 to get 1723 matching the tower years. Flip 1509 to get 1506, the oldest archive record. This isn't coincidence. It's an encoding architecture. Bottles starting with 12 are signatures of the 1700s massacre cycle, stored in an inverted state. Fromville isn't cursed by a single evil act, but by an accumulation of unfinished events. The earth has limits when saturated with blood. The dead can no longer sink, but they hover. The bottle tree exists because the ground is full. The bottles are suspended to avoid touching the soil, halting a burial cycle broken for 500 years. What hangs in glass is in suspended decay. The eternal lullaby serves as the algorithmic template, a hum of a system that never learned to shut down. This ancient mechanism continues because stopping it would mean confronting the catastrophic spill it was designed to delay. The eternal lullaby isn't music, and the numbers aren't notes. In ancient traditions, spirits respond to vibrations. The lullaby keeps the seal pliable. It's akin to a prayer repeated for rhythm, stabilizing the world. Jade didn't create, he adjusted pressure. The children didn't react to beauty but to a shift in containment parameters. Fromville doesn't hunt the living. It prevents the dead from finding closure. The bottle tree stands as proof that this world chose postponement, paying the price in blood ever since. Fromville isn't just a relic, it's a realm in a struggle with death. In ancient beliefs, this state is perilous. When the ground is soaked with blood and memories, death stagnates. Thus, the bottle tree was born. It's not a monument, it's an emergency mechanism. When the earth can't absorb, memories are suspended, not buried or freed, but lingering in decay. This isn't mere theory, it's a conclusion drawn from the embedded data. The slips inside the bottles feature 4-digit codes with leading zeros, like 0199 and 0659. No tradition records years this way. It's a fixed data structure. Moreover, the notorious number 1864 is missing from Jade's collection. If the tree recorded annual tragedies, that number would surely be present. Its absence reveals an insight. The tower and the bottle tree operate as distinct systems. The tower makes proclamations, the bottle tree holds memories. Many bottle numbers can't be interpreted as years 9104, 9752, 6815%. Viewed as history, they're noise. But, as indicators of condition, they align perfectly. The script notes that some numbers appear reversed, particularly 2 and 7. This isn't a glitch, it's part of the data. When flipped, 1273 becomes 1723 and 1509 changes to 1506. Both match the established tower years. This isn't a secret, it's a shift in perspective. Symbols that make sense to humans are interpreted in reverse by the dead. The numbers aren't encrypted, they're arranged for a different reality. The clustering is key. A significant portion of the bottles starts with 12XX. Flipped, this set falls within 1723 to 1796, around 2 major tower anchors. This is known as compression. When too much trauma occurs, the system stops cataloging events, measuring how heavy the load is. This explains why some numbers appear twice, not due to repetition, but identical containment conditions. The Earth is full. The seals were placed, and they failed gracefully. Memories weren't released, they were suspended. The bottle tree is a storage unit, not a history book. Its numbers signify weight, not dates. The inversions aren't codes, they reflect a dead world's perspective. The lullaby isn't a song, it's the hum of an old machine that has forgotten how to stop. Fromville doesn't ask what happened, it inquires how much longer can these seals endure before everything awakens.